Yo, you guys, how you guys doing? How you guys doing? I hope everything is well. Always a bit of a lag. All right, so what I'm going to do today, what I'm going to do tonight is going to answer some questions that were put to me earlier today, and yeah, we'll take it from there. So let's just jump into it. Oh no. There you go. That's no good. All right, camera. We're gonna have to go with the FaceTime. My apologies. My camera just died on me again. I gotta watch it. Let me just shut this off. All right. I keep forgetting to charge the battery on this thing. Oh well, I hope everything is well. We're gonna have to do with a crappy looking video tonight. I can hear you, can't see you though. Can you see me now? We're using the crappy video. So, technical difficulties while on the road. This is actually a pretty good camera, but I keep forgetting to charge the battery. The battery doesn't last as long as you'd hope. Yep. What are you going to do? All right, so what I'm going to do, camera must run on Ruby. Yeah, exactly. It's a Ruby camera. Terrible. So I appreciate everybody coming on. I appreciate the thumbs up as well. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions that were put to me, and then we'll take it from there. I'll do a little bit of Q&A. All right. So somebody asked, when do we know to leave a job to seek other opportunities when we feel we have reached a growth ceiling and can get a higher salary somewhere else? I'm in this position right now. I love my job and all, but I feel like I'm being severely underpaid, and other employers have been reaching out to me to poach me, but I lack the courage to make that jump. So it's the how and when to make that jump that has been difficult for me. That's a good question. So, first rule is when you do work for a company, I advise you to stay there at least a year, unless it's really bad. Now, here's the thing. You don't want to change jobs too often, because when you do change jobs too often, it creates a bad reputation for yourself. You create a bad reputation for yourself because people, when you're being hired, there's an investment in you when you're being hired. No battery. And so if you keep changing jobs and they see that on your resume, some company might want to hire you. It could cause problems because they're going to say, well, if I hire this person, are they going to just take off like this, or are they going to stick around and and be a valuable asset to the company? Because there's always a ramp up period when you hire new developers. There's always this period of ramping you up to get you into the game. So if you keep leaving after 6 months, 5 months, you're going to get into trouble. So okay, so first rule in terms of switching jobs, try to stay at least a year unless it's really bad. Number one. Number two, it's not uncommon for people to advance in their career by going from company A to company B to company C and then back to company A. I've seen it many, many times. So don't be worried about that. In your first few years as a developer, as a coder, it's good to switch up because it could give you a broader range of skills, expose you to different technologies. So that's not a bad thing. Remember, the first few years of development are your formative years, is where you learn a lot. That's why I try to get people up to speed as quickly as possible with their coding skills, so you can get your foot in the door, so that you can get the job. Okay. What's the other point about that? So when to switch? If you feel you're being underpaid, um, don't let the feelings dictate that. Let the market tell you. So if you're getting a lot of people wanting to poach you, then it's a good idea to just on the sly, quietly, go to an interview, explore possibilities, find out what they're willing to pay you, and compare the conditions, not only the salary, the conditions, what type of signing bonus they may provide. You got to look at that as well. Also, get a vibe for the place, get a vibe for the work environment, because to switch to make an extra $10,000 or $30,000 or even 40,000, 50,000 bucks. If you're going to a real rough place where they're going to work you like a dirty dog, or you just don't like it, it might be a problem. It might be not the greatest choice. It may not be the greatest choice. So those are my first three things that come to mind. What I would suggest, I would just go take interviews, find out what you're worth, see what people are going to offer you, and then make a decision based on that. And if you do get a solid offer and you like your current place where you work, give them an opportunity. Say, hey, listen, I just got this offer. They're going to pay me, 20, 30,000 more than you, or 10,000, whatever it is, and see what they say. They may match it. Who knows? But yeah, don't be afraid to change jobs. It's kind of par for the course in the programming game. There's question number 1 answered. And thanks for the thumbs, everybody. Give it a thumbs up. I know. I would like a discussion on predictions for Web 3.0 and what likely developments will happen in job market for developers yet to acquire blockchain skills. You know what? I don't know. I haven't looked at Web 3.0 too closely, so I don't have any strong opinions about that. I think that Web 2.0 is extremely mature and capable, so I would be surprised if Web 3.0 would replace it. I'm not saying it's going away. I'm not saying Web 3.0 won't have any impact at all, but I'm not sure if it's going to have a major impact. That's all. So what's the next question? Should an individual whose main goal is to be an entrepreneur work for a web dev company first or freelance? If you want to be an entrepreneur, then you want to get into business. It's like a friend of mine. His uncle was one of the top directors in Canada, directed all kinds of top TV shows. And he gave my friend a good piece of advice back in the day. He said, the mistake people make who want to be directors is that they try to do other things. They figure if they're going to be directors, they should learn to operate a camera, they should learn to be, do lighting, they should learn sound. And he said, that's the wrong approach. He said, if you want to be a director, just direct. So if you want to get into entrepreneurship, you want to start getting into business. You got to study that craft. Freelancing is a good first level, if you will, of entrepreneurship. You can get in there, start freelancing. I would do that. But go work for somebody is not necessary. Except when you go work for somebody, maybe you can learn the job, work for a short time, 3 to 6 months, learn the business if that opportunity is there. When I was thinking about starting my first business, I decided to go work for the largest wholesaler in that industry in Canada at the time, just to get a feel for what they were doing. It gave me some insight. I was just there for like 3 months or so, 4 months. It gave me some insight, and they later became a client of mine. So it was kind of cool that way. But if you do work for somebody else, make sure it's a short gig. You don't want to get caught in the trap of working for somebody for years. Yeah, let's hit those thumbs up if you can, people. We only have 30 thumbs up and 73 viewers. So I know I have terrible bokeh today, but you can give me some pitied thumbs up. Next question. Freelancer pricing strategy. What can you build with no code? Ruby. Oh boy. Um, Freelancer pricing strategy. Depends on your level of skill. Depends on your productivity, what the market is. Check out my freelance course, link below if you want to learn all about that. What can you build with no code? You can't build a complete web app. You could build back-end tools, back office tools. You may be able to automate certain aspects of the process. No code and low code tools are complementary tools. They're something that you can consider in the process, you know. So let's see what else. Do we have any other questions? I think those are the questions that people put to me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try something. All right, so let's see what happens here. So let's rerun this. All right, hold on a second. Now I'll be doing some Q&A in the in a second here, and just trying this my other camera, which is a lot better. All right, so we're going to switch over to a new camera. We'll see how that goes. Camera, Epoch Cam. Is that going to work? No, hold on. Oh, okay, that's working. Oh, all right, hold on a second. Give me a second, give me a second, give me a second. Boom. All right. That's not good. No zooming here. No zoom. My apologies. That's not good. All right, let me turn it on. All right, professional production here. My apologies. Hold on. That's what happens when the camera goes down. All right. Yeah, it's not bad. That better. All right, let's get this zoom out of here. Boom. All right. So we'll do that for now. All right, so a little Q&A. All right, that should do it. We're going to do a little Q&A now. My apologies. And that's it. Okay, that's cool. There's a camera right here. Okay, let's do it. Hey, how are ya? Sorry for the bad production value. My camera went dead on me. I forgot to charge the battery, so we're using the phone here. That's okay. So if you have questions, put them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. All right, let's just get this back a little bit. Okay, good. All right, we're good. It's good enough. It's good enough. Okay, let's go back up. I'll answer some questions. All right, guys. Hello. Hey, man. How are you? Hello. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Good morning. Oh, good evening, too. Hello. You can hear me. Okay. What's going good? Thanks for taking my questions. No problem, dude. I hope you got a good answer there. Hey, how are you, Simon? How was the key lime pie? The key lime pie was very good. I also had an IPA as well. I like key lime pie. I've been eating stone crab I did a few times. The camera must run on Ruby. Yeah, of course, we got that one. Is your battery pack running on Ruby? Exactly. That's what happened. You know, this problem is I should buy an extra battery for this. I keep not charging it. Look how tiny that battery is. Not very good. It's actually a good camera if you're doing live streaming. That's all you need. But unfortunately, no charging. You know what? What I can do. So we're going to get into questions in about 2 seconds, and then we'll get to it. So what's going on here? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Let's see if I can charge this thing here. All right. All right, let's do it. Hello. Hello from Malaysia. How are you? Cheers. Yeah. Hey, Anissa, how are you? You can see me. Hey, hey. Hello. All right. Hey, guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Downside is no bokeh. The upside is the air vent looks nice. Oh yeah, the vent is fantastic. Yeah, so I'm renting this this condo. No, it's not a condo. It's a hotel room, beachside. So I'm going to be moving to a better place soon. It's not a bad place, but I'm going to another place soon. If you're coming back in the industry after 2 years and you want to practice HTML, CSS, and JavaScript front end, can someone start as a freelancer after a long time away from coding? Why not? All that matters if you're freelancing is that you can produce results. So if you have to work extra hard to get the result that you need to get, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, it doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter. Hold on. Let me give you guys vertical. There we go. I think that's better. All right. So yeah, now you can definitely come back to it. I wouldn't be too concerned about that at that time. What you doing tonight? You definitely look 100 years old. Never did. Yeah, it's all about lighting, man. Lighting is huge. I usually change when the projects are done. I try to finish what I start. Usually that's not too long. Yeah. You want to change the product. You want to complete your jobs. There's no question about that. Rather than focusing on the local market, do you think it's viable to work freelance remotely and have clients worldwide? Sure, why not? If you can get the business, why not? Is declining the offer 7 days prior to joining date bad when you get a better offer from a different company? Oof. That's a good question. Did you accept the offer? If you accepted the offer, it's kind of, I'm not sure. You know what? I think that might be regional in terms of what the etiquette is in that regard. Did you sign and accept the offer or not? I don't know. Let me know about that. Knowing Node and JavaScript, I got my first job as a Magento PHP developer, and I'm nervous. Any tips? No, just learn PHP. Find out from your new job what kind of PHP they're working with, what frameworks they're using, and so forth. But I wouldn't be nervous. If you know Magento and JavaScript and Node, to learn PHP is not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Ever work 2 jobs to test the second one? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Thanks as always, your knowledge. Thank you for guiding us. Hey, no problem. It's my pleasure. Hey, in my early days, I did 2 years per job and made sure I played a critical role on a major project before trying to leave. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's just good for your resume. You want to create a very good reputation for yourself. Something I used to talk about all the time, how reputation is one of the most valuable skills. Is it on this side? One of the most valuable skills you can have as a developer. So you want to work on your reputation. So make sure you don't bail jobs too easy. Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Thoughts on iOS development or Android dev? It's very viable. I think that on both ends, although I think there's going to be more in the future, in the coming future, I think there's going to be more web-based mobile development via PWA and maybe Flutter and React Native, simply because cross-platform development is viable for more and more projects, because these phones are getting so powerful now that the need for native is getting less and less required. I just got accepted in a coding boot camp. Any advice? Well, just work on a regular basis. Be consistent. when people join my mentoring program / bootcamp, I just tell them, do a little bit every day, be consistent, and you'll be okay. If you were a beginner today wanting to learn to code, how would you start? Would you go for a job, freelance, or start a business? What languages would you learn? Interested to see where you'd begin. I think that's a good question. I think the web is still super, super viable today. I think it is the majority, really, of programming today. I'd probably stick to the web stack because it just gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of the type of development that you do. That's for sure. So I would definitely stick to the web stack. Would you go for a job, freelance? I would definitely get into freelance first because last job I had working for somebody, I was a bouncer in a nightclub. And so it's just not my thing. There's nothing wrong with working for other people, by the way, if that's what you prefer. I know some people have done very well working for other people. It's just a personality thing. So my personality has not changed. It's changed. I would go freelance. And once I had a few bucks in the bank, some FU money, a little bit of experience with negotiations and dealing with people, then I would be looking around for some opportunity business-wise. But freelance is a business. You can make a lot of money as a freelancer. Hello, Tech TV. I hope everything is well. Hi, I recently got a job as a junior PHP developer, being a JavaScript developer. In the end, the programming language was not the important stuff. There you go. Mr. Atom Miko, you've learned. That's the thing I've been trying to hammer away at on the YouTubes, that the language is just a tool. It's not, don't get caught up in the language wars. That's what my whole Ruby joke is about. I'm not making fun of Ruby. Well, I'm making a little bit of fun of Ruby, but I'm really making fun of people who care about the languages. Like, you can have a preference. That's cool. You can, I prefer this language to that language, et cetera, et cetera. That's cool. But to care, to think that somehow your career is going to be bound by the language, not really. It's bound by your skills as a developer. Languages are just tools, you know. You don't hire a plumber because he uses a certain type of wrench. Oh, I'm only going to hire a plumber who uses this type of wrench or that type of wrench. No, it's just a tool. Let's see what else we got here. As an international student in the US with zero experience in software dev, is focusing on Salesforce development a viable path to get my foot in the door? I hope to stay in the US and Canada in the long term. What I would do is I look at job opportunities for Salesforce development, see how many jobs there are, maybe call up some companies, say, listen, would you sponsor me if I became a competent Salesforce developer? You know, worst thing they can say is we can't answer your question. So I would do that first of all. I went from Rust back to C for 2022, laugh out loud. What are your opinions on working for free for a startup as a final year student when you have project experience but not a lot of job experience? Yeah, work for free for a short period of time, 2-3 months maybe. That's it, and see what you get out of it. And you'll see how how you progress, and how capable you are. And if you're very capable, they'll hire you. You know. But don't go much longer than a few months. ASCII all the way. You know, understanding ASCII, by the way, and understanding how that resolves will help you with certain debugging issues when you're managing text and so forth. So yeah, understanding what ASCII is all about, and I believe I teach that in my courses, at least to a certain level. It will help you with debugging. Because all the texts that you write are represented by codes. And yeah, anyway, and that could lead to certain bugs because depending on the font type, you may be, in software, you may be parsing for a particular ASCII code. But anyway, I won't get into it here. But yeah, knowing ASCII can be useful. You don't have to be a master, but just know what it is and understand the basics. If you're working a job and want to start a business, is it better to try to build it on the side? Yes, build it on the side 100%. Or save some runway money and quit. No, 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 no. You should save some runway money to begin with. Everybody should have 3 to 6 months minimum of FU money. If it's a stable job, 6 months. If it's not a very stable job, maybe longer than that, maybe a year. I used to say 1 to 2 years. But I think that if you have a stable job, 6 months is enough, especially if you're experienced. But no, 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 no. You don't start a business from scratch and quit your job. Because you got to, especially if you're new at business. If you're experienced at business, would be a different deal. But if you're new, no. So transition into it. When the new business starts getting momentum, and there's going to be a lot of inertia at first with a new business, that's normal, especially when you're a beginner. Then when you have that momentum, then you start looking at the quitting of the job. Good evening to you. I know you support learning web dev, but can you speak on specializing as a Python dev or as a Java dev? I see many jobs for this. You know, if you've seen many jobs in your area for Python dev or Java dev, you know, and a lot of, well, Java, you know, typically it's going to be web or it's going to be Android development, typically. Python, a lot of it is, there's a lot more of it is like AI stuff, data stuff, back-end server processes. Hey, as long as the jobs are there, I teach the web dev because I know it very, very well and because it gives you maximum opportunity in the job market. I could teach other stuff, I suppose, but I want to give you guys the maximum choices out there in the job market. Greetings and salutations. Hey, I just accepted a new offer today. Congratulations. First job, 11 months. Second job, 6 months. That's cool. 11 months is cool. Congratulations, by the way. Fantastic. Good job. Should we focus on FP? FP. I don't know what you mean by FP. Is that front page? What about courses for location intelligence? Location intelligence. I've never heard of location intelligence, so I couldn't answer that. Engineering. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Tell us, what type of job? What are you doing? What kind of development? Engineering with Muhazam. I have tons of experience, but as academic who do coding for university, this is not recognized by software industry. What should I do? You should do a couple of free gigs, free jobs, as I talk about, for real companies, and away you go. You got to get some real world experience. Any funny stories about devs rage quitting? Rage quitting, no. I got a funny story, though, about development. I can tell it now because it's been a long time. So, this is in the 90s. This is in the 90s, mid to late 1990s. Yeah. I had a friend of mine who was working for a big company, and they were brought in, or their team was brought in to work for a large telco. They were going to be a telco. Now, part of the requirements for them to get their license to become a cell phone provider in Canada, they had to develop a web portal by a certain date. So they had a team. I think the development team was like 12 people or so, or 15 people or so. And so I got a call because my friend was working there and said, "Hey, Stef, we need a developer to come work on, we got to get the system out on time. Can you come and join us?" So I'm like, "Okay, sure. What's the pay?" So they gave me the pay, and the pay was really good. And I said, "Okay, I'll do that. That's easy." And so I go in to talk to the project. Well, the project lead was a friend of mine. So he said, "Yeah, just come in." So I come in, and they sit down and say, "Okay, we need you to work on the help system." you got to develop the help system. Okay, I'll work on the help system. So I started working on the help system, and we're in this big office space for a huge corporation. And they sectioned off this area of all these wall dividers for us developers. There were like 10 of us or so. So I'm in there, and I'm building the help system. It was really old school stuff. And so I would get the translation department. They would send me all the documents, all the help files. So they send it all to me in a digital format. So I start mounting it into the system. And then they would, a few hours later, the next day, they send me revisions. So revisions? I already put that in. So it became a little bit frustrating for me because they kept changing, the actual verbiage, the actual text in the help system. I kept having to re-import it. It was a pain. So I remember we were the elite team because if the site didn't go up, they did not get their license. So we were like gods. Nobody messed with us. So I'm in there, and me and the lead coder, everybody's yapping, all the coders. Yeah, we're coding, crack jokes, yapping. And we're in this big room separated by the dividers. So they sent me another revision, the translation department. And I was pissed. And I just made a joke. I said, we should go give those translation guys a beating. I'm from Canada, so I grew up with Italians. So we should go give those guys a beating. They keep sending us these translations. They should just send us once, and then the lead developer goes, "Yeah, Stef, we should go beat the hell out of them." Yeah. So we're just joking around like that, and it got to the point we started doing like mafia stuff. Me and you, we got to put a hit on these people. We got to take them out. And anyway, so we're doing these jokes pretty loud. So then later that day, I get called in to see the director of the department for translation to discuss things. And we would have these meetings. So I go into the meeting, and we have a meeting. We talk about, okay, this, that. And then she goes, oh, by the way, Stef, you mind not threatening to beat up my staff? So what happened is that their staff was, we didn't know. They were sitting in cubicles near us. So they heard us bantering and joking around, but they took it seriously. So anyway, that's the joke from going back 1990. So little rule: if you're in a corporate environment, don't make jokes that you want to beat up your coworkers. They don't like that. That was when I was young, Stef. So there you go. That's my story. Did I lose anybody on that one? All right. Stef, I'm at a job where most of the devs are 10 years more experienced than me and using old tech like XML, okay, XML and Oracle, okay. I don't feel motivated or like I'm moving forward. I've been here for almost a year. Well, if you've been there almost a year, start looking around for new jobs. Remember, the principles and the techniques, even using old tech, it's an older expression of newer stuff. You'll see that the processes are very similar. So if you're almost there a year, start looking around for a new job in whatever specializations you're interested in. That's cool. But I can understand that. I used to hate working with XML personally. Hi, Stef. I have heeded the wise words you gave me yesterday about building a programming portfolio. I have unplugged myself from social media to get things done. Much love, bro, from the UK. Good job, man. Yeah, just do a little every day, Did you pick up a new MacBook M1 Pro? MacBook? No, I got my Air here. I got my M1 Air. I love this computer because look how thin this is. Super fast, super powerful. It's fantastic for travel. Very long battery life. I got a terabyte hard drive on here, so I can throw all kinds of information on there. So yeah, I highly recommend the M1 Max. I like the Air because it's so thin. But the Pro is good. The Pro or Max are good. Is Python a good choice for this year? I want to buy your course for Python. Is that a good start? Yeah, my courses really are about the fundamentals, getting you up and running quickly enough to understand the languages, so then you can explore any Python specialization that you want. If you do my Python course, for example, you're going to learn how to program. I use Python to teach you that, but you'll understand all these programming concepts that are universal, like OOP, etc., etc. Hey, how are you, Black Star? Hey, Stefan. Hello from Code Montreal. Which front-end JS framework would you suggest after mastering JavaScript? I would look around at jobs and stuff. I prefer Vue personally, but that's my preference. I know a lot of people like React, so that's cool. All right. Madame Tech TV is giving us the deal, giving us the story here. The new job is web administrator. Okay. I'll be setting up e-commerce websites for new clients and working on design, development, maintenance related tasks. Thanks for letting us know, by the way. Cool. All right. Congratulations once again. Good stuff. Hi, Steph. What about the opposite? Being 15 years at the same place, I feel underpaid, but now I'm 42, still on time. Still on time. What about being 15 years at the same place? Well, if you feel that you're underpaid, start looking around for other jobs and see if you can get a higher pay. You can do it on the side. What do you think about blockchain? I think it's highly specialized. I don't know what the future is of blockchain. It's got a future for sure. It's already huge, right? Is data science hard to learn? Data science is its own thing, right? Data scientists happen to use programming languages like Python and R and C and C++, I would imagine. Probably Java too, I would guess. But it's its own thing, right? Don't think you're going to become a data scientist by learning Python. You got to be a data scientist. Data scientists happen to write code as well. So look at what data scientist is all about and see whether or not you like that type of work, okay? Yes, I accepted the offer. Now can I decline 7 days before joining? Oof. I guess that would depend on the culture, I don't know where you are in the world. It's tricky it's tricky. I don't have an answer for you on that one because, if you accept an offer and then you bail on them, it creates some bad blood. I don't know, talk to some maybe colleagues and see what they have to say. I don't have a strong answer on that one. Maybe you can say, oh, listen, I got another offer. If it's that much better, maybe you can burn a bridge if the other offer is so sweet. You know what I mean? So, but congrats anyway. It's good to have opportunity. See, once you've established yourself as a good developer, a coder, jobs are like this. If the only purpose is to make money, it is better to master a specific path, mobile, web dev, or being a mediocre of everything as a CS major. Well, you don't want to be mediocre at anything. You don't want to be mediocre of everything. You want to have at least some skill. But there's that old expression, you say master, jack of all trades, master of none, and then a lot of people stop it there. But apparently the full quote is, jack of all trades, master of none, still better than master of one. I would agree with that, especially if you're a developer. A developer is a generalist, generally speaking, especially if you're freelancing. Entrepreneurs are generalists, generally speaking. Now, I have my own specializations, areas that I'm very, very good at, like taking out people. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I have some areas where I'm very good at, and there's a bunch of other things that I'm decent at, and there's a lot of other stuff that I'm terrible at. So you don't want to be mediocre at everything, but it's good to have a broad range of skills as well. Some people call it skill stacking. So for example, if you want to be a successful developer, not only do you have to know how to code, you have to have some soft skills as well, right? You have to have also problem-solving skills. You have to be consistent, which is a skill. Um, Good communication skills, those are all play into it. Do you have any advice when launching a SaaS platform? I'm building a web app now, and there's a proven market for it and weak competition. I can't stand getting a job via agency, laugh out loud. I totally get it. So what you got to do when you're launching any business, you want to get out your minimum viable product, your MVP, as quickly as possible. So this way you can get feedback from the user base. So don't go crazy trying to make your code for your MVP super performant and super clean and have use tests and all that kind of stuff. No. You have no time for that. You just want to get the code out the door. You want to get your project working as fast as it can so it's acceptable and that it runs acceptably rather. And then you see what the feedback is. That's my advice. But you should take my entrepreneur course. I get into all that kind of stuff. Let's run the thumbs up count to 75. Or we're past, we're at 83. Cool. I appreciate the thumbs up, everybody. Very good. Yeah. Boom. Hey, greetings. Greetings from Fort Lauderdale. Sunrise. Hey, how are you? Advice on personal projects while job searching. Sorry, I don't have more precise question. Do personal projects that are related to the type of job that you eventually want to get into. That's what I would suggest. So, will you be sightseeing? I was tonight. Yeah, I'm going to be checking out different parts of Florida. I've been here many times. I'm supposed to go up to Boca Raton soon. I might go down to Brickell, Florida at some point. But I came here as a working vacation. I have a lot of work I got to do. So I just wanted to be outside because right now Montreal is in lockdown and curfews and all the restaurants are shut and it's like a dead zone. So I have the ability to escape that. So here I am. Your thoughts on serverless computing, computing, how is the future scope, etc. I think it has a role to play out there. I couldn't say like if it's going to take over everything. Do some research in terms of the use case. Is it compelling enough for a new technology to replace an old? It typically takes the new has to be really much better, like really much better. Thank you, Anissa. I appreciate that. What do you think of mix the backend in Python, Django, REST framework, and the front in Vue.js? It works. If it works, it works. Bouncer at a nightclub. I bet you saw some interesting things happen when people are inebriated. Ha ha ha. Oh, you have no idea what I saw. It's unbelievable. I can tell some pretty salacious stories. And it's, yeah, bouncing. You see a lot when people get drunk. And this was a club. I worked only in, how many clubs did I work in? I worked in two big clubs where they had capacities. One had a capacity of like 2,500 people, and the other had a capacity of maybe 1,500. And then I worked at some small gigs here and there. But I saw some wicked stuff. Big gang fights would break out sometimes. I've seen people go at it with bottles and chairs at each other. I saw a guy got hit with a beer bottle here, and the eyeball popped out of his head. Fun stuff like that. Should I work for Facebook? Well, if you like working for Facebook, if you got an offer and it's a lot of money, then take it. It's not like you guys are getting married, right? When you, what's the word? When you go get a job somewhere, you're not getting married. Even if you're getting married, you can get divorced. But you can quit a job, But especially if you're first starting out, the key is to get the job, to get that first job and to get some experience. once you have a few years of experience, then the world is your oyster as a coder developer. I feel like shipping mobile products fits my antisocial personality. Consulting is too much human interaction. Well, you may want to get into C++ then. Have you ever KO'd someone in a street fight? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. More than once. Yes, get money and quit. Yes, get money and quit. Yeah, who said that? Yeah. Now don't, if you're starting a business, start it on the side, and only when it starts to build momentum would you quit your job. Trust me, because you're going to have to really figure out that business model. Unless it's a very ambitious business plan where you raise VC money. And that's a whole different game and a whole different discussion. Start with Python, then C, then C++, and JavaScript. I've never seen any of your content. This live stream just popped up in my feed. Thus far, I'm receiving valuable insight. Thank you. Hey, no worries, Joseph. Welcome to the stream. Usually I have a much better setup. My portable camera, my battery went dead on me. And when I'm back at home base, I got a much better rig. I'm on a working vacation right now. But welcome to the feed. Hey, I'm switching from software dev path. I'm onto cybersecurity. Whatever you like. As a junior, I feel like I'm not learning that much. Is that an issue? As a junior, don't worry about evaluating your progress. Just do what you should evaluate instead. Is not your perceived progress, because you just don't have the eye to understand whether you're progressing well or not. What you should just concentrate on is being consistent on a daily basis. I suggest minimum 20 minutes a day, maximum 3 to 4 hours a day, and 4 to 5 days a week. Make sure you drink lots of water. Make sure you take breaks every hour or so if you're doing 3 to 4 hour sprints. Do some micro exercises every hour or so. Do like 10 push-ups, do some kicks, punches, whatever. I did a couple of videos on that. But don't worry about trying to assess how fast you're learning, because you're just a beginner. You don't have the eyes to judge that. Just judge your progress based on how consistent you are. Trust me, it will come. There you go. How do I get a job as a junior dev with low to zero experience? I've covered that many times. You do 2 to 3 free freelance projects. So you can look at my previous videos. You can find all kinds of information there. It's not one size fits all kind of thing. Why would you do Python, C, C++, and JS in your particular order? That's just his opinion. You learn basics of code, and then you decide what type of development you want to do, and then you learn accordingly. Talk all about that. If I'm an introvert and feel like to sit on my own and work without dealing with other people, that's why I don't want a job. I want to work for myself, hoping to start a business in web dev. Yeah, well, you're going to have to speak to people once in a while, right? You should do my Lizard Wizard course. Link below. Lizard Wizard is going to change your mind. You have to interact with people to a certain extent. If you're freelancing or you're working for somebody else or you're starting your own business, you're going to have to interact with people a little bit. So do Lizard Wizard. That's going to help you out quite a bit. Hello, Stefan. Hello, Mr. Azam. How are you? I want to shift career and work as a coder, but I'm not sure which path yet. Should I choose the fastest path to get a job in the industry, or should I be 100% sure of my choice? Well, you can't be 100% sure of your choice now because you're not a coder. You're like asking a blind person what TV they like, right? If you haven't watched, if you don't have eyes to discern one TV from the other, it's difficult to make that judgment. That's not the best analogy. Or it's like dating. How do you know what type of person you want to go out with or marry or whatever, or have a long-term relationship, unless you date a few people? I'm going to talk from a male's perspective because I'm a guy. So it's if I'm how would I know what kind of woman I want to date or marry if I don't date? You got to date different people, see who I like, who I don't like, and then you start figuring out what your preferences are. Um, Same thing with coding. Just learn to code. Pick something. I teach the web dev because I think it gives you the broadest choice. But then from there, you figure out what you want to do. All right. Hello from Georgia. How are you? Okay. I'll be joining a new company as an SRE. The team I will be joining in my new company is in very initial stages. Is switching to SRE good career move, especially in this new company? I don't know the company. Um, See if you like it. Again, you're not getting married. You could always move out. I know this is off topic, but what motivates you to make these awesome videos? I appreciate that. Um, I come from a family of teachers. My father was a teacher. In my immediate family, somewhere like 10, 15 people were teachers or are teachers now. It's kind of in the blood to teach. Um, I just get a lot out of it. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do what I want to do as opposed to have to do anything. I like teaching. I like getting feedback from people. Every now and then on a stream, regulars know this. People will pop in and tell me about their careers that I gave them the launch. So I get a lot. I get a lot out of it. I appreciate being. I like being able to help a lot of people out. And that's why I do it. I appreciate the question. Thanks for the compliment. If you're not learning a lot as a junior, I would try to ask for more work if possible. That's good advice. Or find a way to improve something if possible. If not, it might be best to move on. That's good advice. I agree. Answer to the question at hand is it's when you get to work with fun, obscure language. The original question he's referring to. Sure. Whatever your motivations are. Let me go on. How are we doing for time? Ooh, almost an hour. So we're going to be closing off my stream fairly soon. Okay. Hey, Stefan, do you think one can get mid-level skills in programming without having working experience? You have to build things. That's the key. Whether it be build your own projects or you build other people's projects, you have to build something that people use. Software has to be used that you build. Only then will you understand the ways of the nerd. If so, how can one know when they're no longer a junior? You will know you're no longer a junior when you're no longer a junior. It will be obvious to you. It will be obvious to you. So, yeah, that's it. Just keep coding, man. Just keep coding. Hey, yesterday's streaming title, How Martial Arts Helped Me in Coding, Hidden. Yeah, I hit it because I had some major technical difficulties. It was all garbled and stuff, but my local copy of the stream is clean. So I plan to upload my local copy sometime next few days. So you get a clean view of it. That's all. Yeah, I get it, but nothing wrong with starting with JS, for instance, or one of the C languages. There's nothing wrong starting with any language. I would pick an easy language. C and C++ can be very challenging for a beginner. So a higher level language would just be more approachable for most people, like a Python or a JavaScript or a PHP maybe. And then you can jump into the more challenging languages like a C++ or Java or C#. I've learned so much on jobs that I would have never learned on my own, both tech and business wise. Yeah, exactly. You learn on the job. I learned that in martial arts. I used to always tell people, one 3-round sparring match is going to be worth months and months of training outside of the ring. One good street fight will teach you more than months and months of training. So yeah, doing it for real is the key to everything. My batteries are running out everywhere. Jesus. All right, so functional programming. You meant functional programming. Yeah, I forget the question though. So functional programming is fine. All programming is fine as long as there's work and you like it. I knew it was in front page. I just didn't know what it was. CCP still have space in actual market. Where should I start to job? I have competitive programming experience. CPP. Competitive programming still have space in actual market. I don't know. I believe that you should just build things, I think you should just build things. All right, guys, it's almost an hour. I will let you go. Also, my battery is starting to go nuts. I appreciate that, Anissa. I'm jealous. I would love to try that one. Yeah, just try it out. It's still good. It's still good. Do you still coding? Do I still coding? No, I'm not a coder these days. I'm architect. I lead my developers when need be. But I haven't coded actively in a while because you have to make a decision in your career at some point. You will, as a developer, whether you're going to go administration, entrepreneur, architect. They're all choices based on personality. So I remember I made that hard choice a while back where I had to decide whether or not I was going to be a dev going forward or I was going to get into different areas. So no, I'm not an active developer anymore. You got 2 thumbs up from me, 1 from each phone. That's cool. I appreciate that. All right. I'm going to have to let you guys go. No, I appreciate that. Thanks for everybody for joining the stream. I'll try to get my batteries charged up better next time. I know I couldn't get to everybody's questions, but I've been talking here for almost an hour or so. Good questions tonight, and everybody who is new to the stream, cheers! Thanks for the joining the stream for all the regulars like Anissa. All right, good question and good to know personal things about you. So there you go. That's about it. Cheers, everybody. Good night, and the stream will be probably in a couple of days. We'll talk soon. I'll leave you with some ASMR from Portland, Maine. Is it Portland? Not Portland. It's from Maine. Anyway, I will leave you with this ASMR video, something I filmed a couple years ago. We'll talk soon.